Hey everyone, it's Sarah Elizabeth LaHood here, and today we're talking about creating buy now buttons on your sales page. And I know tech tutorials can get super weird and boring, so we're gonna make this one kind of fun. I'm just kidding. It's really boring and really stupid, so I'm gonna make a lot of stupid jokes. But today we're gonna talk about making a buy now button. Now there are lots of ways to do this. Some are a little more tech savvy, some are a little bit like expensive, lead pages and whatever else you might be using, okay? But today we're gonna talk about how to make it for free based on the software and whatever else that you already have, okay? So this is super simple, super normal, kind of like an old-fashioned way to make buttons, okay? It might feel not like the most sexy thing you ever did when you came to tech, but it's going to work, it's going to look good, and no one will be able to tell the difference. So let's get into it. All right, we're here in my WordPress backend. So this is what the backend of my website looks like. You get to see all the things I got here, and it's super fun and awesome. But today we're creating that test sales page, and of course we need a button to go on it because I have all my cool information here about buying and booking with me, if I could spell, because I'm awesome and my clients are all awesome people. So you should come be awesome. Okay, that's clearly the best sales page that anyone ever wrote in their entire life. So now all we need is someone to correct my typos and we will make that button, okay? So again, this is totally free. There are many ways to build sales pages that are a little bit more, kind of automated, systematized, and maybe sexier depending on how much you love playing in technology. But again, this is gonna be super simple and super easy, and feel free to pause this video as many times as you need. Again, super simple and super easy. So we now need that big buy now button, okay? So what we're gonna basically do is we're going to create an image, and then we're going to hyperlink that image. So we're going to link that image to PayPal so that people can make that payment that way. Okay, so there's a couple steps here. First is to create the link in PayPal. The second is to create the image. And the third is to upload that image here to this page and hyperlink it to PayPal, okay? Now, I'm not going to show you the PayPal process exactly today because mostly I can't do it without showing you my personal info. So fun fact of the day, can't do it without creating a test PayPal site, and that seemed like a lot of work. So basically I'll tell you what you're gonna do and I'll show you what it looks like when you're done. So you're gonna go into your business PayPal account. You cannot do this from a free PayPal account. You have to have a business one, though a business account is free. Shouldn't have phrased it the way that I did, but a business account in PayPal is free. You do need it in order to make this happen, okay? So you're going to go to your business PayPal account, you're gonna log in, and you're gonna create a button, a PayPal button. It's actually a very simple process, very self-explanatory. The hardest part is actually finding where that create a button section is, okay? So if you go to your PayPal, up here you have all these things. If you go to tools and you click all tools, the PayPal buttons will be in there. It's just a little link and it'll take you to a page where you can start creating those buttons for yourself. Again, it's a step-by-step process. They walk you through it. It's nice and simple. And when you're done, you get to the end and you have a screen that looks like this. Now this looks scary. I know that, okay? If you want, you can use this button and stick it into your website. It's actually very simple. So they've literally given you the text code here. You can see what it's going to look like. If I simply copy this code and I go back to my sales page and I go to where it says text, because when we're working in code, you can never put the code here. You need to put it in text. Okay, and there's all sorts of complicated reasons as to why that is. If you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know what they are. But basically, it's because this visual is basically pretend, that's what humans see, and the text is what the computer sees, sort of. All right, so you're gonna paste that code there, and when you go to visual, you will see the PayPal button. But of course, you mightn't like that PayPal button. It's like a little bit, PayPal-ish, right? And so you might want your own pretty one. Okay, so you can stop here. Technically, you've got a PayPal button on your website. People can book and buy and purchase and run wild with you already, so everything's good. But if you want it to be a little prettier, then we can keep going. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. The second thing that you see on this page is actually an email, okay? So you have website, that's your code. If you click over to email, it gives you simply a link. Now, if I were to take this link and stick it in my web browser, let's see what happens. Do, 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 do. Oh my gosh, it's asking me to pay via PayPal. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. How perfect. So we know that that link works. We know that it's going to take me to PayPal. As you can see, it's not going to let me actually pay because it thinks I am me. So cool. But if I know that that link works, okay, now I've got the first step taken care of. Remember, the first step was to get that PayPal link. Now we need the image. So that's why we're going to go over here, oops, to Canva. Now Canva.com is a totally free online photo editing software. Super awesome. It's just canva.com. You can see the URL right here. Okay. And when you get to canva.com, you're going to pick one of these things. Okay. So they have all these pre-done dimensions for you. Social media post, poster, blog graphic, A4. I think there's a US letter in here somewhere. There. Okay, so you've got all of these dimensions: blog title, album cover, infographic, gift card, flyer, poster, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we're going to pick one that kind of looks like a button. Okay, so I think Twitter post kind of looks like a button. Anything kind of horizontal and a little bit thick like that's a little narrow for me, but any of these are going to work for your button. Okay, so let's pick Twitter post for today. And it's going to open up in a new screen and we get to design our button. Now my buttons all tend to look pretty similar. They're usually either hot pink or blue. So let's make ours hot pink today. We're going to make a background. You will see the hex code for my color. There's my color. Awesome. Okay, and now we need something that makes it obvious that we're buying now. Perhaps text that says buy now, please. Okay, now you can make that giant if you want. Okay, probably a little bigger than that. Okay, I'm gonna put it here, but I don't really like that the words are being stopped like that, so let's widen it. Up, too wide from a thing. We have to make the words smaller. How entertaining is this tech tutorial so far? Okay, so there's my button. Now, there's one little problem here. Sometimes this doesn't look like a button because we tend to be used to looking at buttons that are like round or have a little bit of a shadow, okay? But if you're doing it this free way, there's no real clean way to do that. A really good way to do that is to go in here and search for gradients. And you can just stick a gradient on top of it and it'll look a little bit more like a button. So if we do this, you can see it's going to put that kind of color on that we associate with buttons a little bit more. And that's a lot better. Now make sure though, you see it's now changed my words. I don't really want it to. So I'm going to go up here to arrange and I'm going to go back because you really want those words to pop out. Okay, so make sure your words are not be hidden by your gradient. So now we've got our button. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and download this. Probably as a PNG or JPEG. Make sure you don't download it as a PDF. That's a totally different file. It won't work as an image. Okay, hold tight, preparing your design, some kind of inspirational quote from Paul Rand. That's awesome. There's my button. So we have our first two steps taken care of, the PayPal link and our image. Now we need to link the two. So we're going to go back to our sales page. And first things first, we need to add that button now to our world. Okay, so I'm going to upload it here to my WordPress. And you can do this whole process here in the WordPress Media Library, but for the sake of those who aren't using WordPress, I'm going to show you how to do it just generally in life. But the first things first, we probably don't want it to be large. We probably want it to be around 300 pixels wide. That's usually pretty standard, a nice good size. Now you can make it bigger or smaller. Big buy now buttons are definitely awesome, okay? But there's our image. Now remember, so far this image is simply an image. When I publish this, which I'm going to do just now so we can see what it looks like, when I open this page, you will see that it looks awesome. Well, it looks, yes, awesome. But if I click that button, nothing happens, okay? So we need to just link that button. We need to link to that PayPal URL. So we're going to go back to PayPal just in case I don't remember the code. And I'm going to copy that code one more time, and I just need to hyperlink it to the image. Now again, if you're working in WordPress, you can click Edit, and it'll bring this screen up, okay? If you go to anywhere else, usually if you click this image, there's some sort of thing where you can edit it. If you can't do that, I'll show you how to do that in a second, okay? So go into Edit, you're going to do link to custom URL and paste the link to PayPal, and make sure you click Update. Now what that's going to do is when I update this page now, on this sales page, that image is now a button. Watch this. Brilliant, okay? Now again, you mightn't be able to do that easily, or you might have trouble finding how to link to a custom URL, so there is another way to do this, okay? So if you just click this and you right click it, or you can hold down Control and the letter K, okay? So I'm gonna do Control K because I'm not gonna be able to find it in there. Again, you can also see it up here, but basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make this a link. So when I click Control K on anything on my computer, it basically tells the computer I wanna put a link in it and hide it. So now I'm gonna paste that link, hit apply, and it should still work. Let's check it out. Go back, refresh, refresh, refresh our pages. It's never gonna refresh. Let's try it this way. There you have it. So now you know how to make a PayPal button very, very simply. Again, this is not the most elegant way to do this. There are other ways to do it, especially if you're using Squarespace or a WordPress theme like Divi. Very simple ways to create buttons. But if you're working with less, or if you're just not interested in the button options that are on your website as they are, you have full power to create your own images and turn them into any buttons that you want. So I hope this video was helpful. If you're watching this over on YouTube, I encourage you to head over to my website, sarahelizabethlahood.com. Check out all the blog posts. You can find more tutorials there and sign up to stay tuned for all the great goodies I got for you. And I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys all very soon. Mwah!